of oil companies first. I think that he's putting Israel first. I don't think he's putting America first. And now, in addition to losing the American service members' lives, including sending an additional 2,500 Marine Corps service members overseas, risking their lives, the lives of American citizens have been risked by independent lone wolf terrorist actions here in the state. You have several attacks. The first of which occurred at a Texas bar, where a maniac wearing a Property of Allah and Iran shirt attacked civilians. You have the shooter screaming Allahu Akbar at Old Dominion University in Virginia. And you have a maniac who attacked a synagogue in Michigan, and likely more attacks to come, as Donald Trump has announced that he's aware of sleeper cells of potential Iranian terrorists across the United States, but hasn't identified them and hasn't captured them. And if he hasn't captured them, then as far as I know, they are free to attack civilians, which should concern us all. He also may have had his own George Bush mission accomplished moment. Do you remember that? I think it was back in 2004 when George Bush showed up on that air carrier with the big banner, "Mission Accomplished," right in the background. And it became one of the biggest blunders of his presidency because, of course, we did not end the war in Iraq until he left office in 2011 when Barack Obama was president of the United States. But Donald Trump, in spite of now sending an additional 2,500 Marine service members over to protect the Strait of Hormuz, has announced that we've won. In fact, he says we won in the first few hours of the war with Iran.
Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do, and we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over, but we won. But they gave me a list of names at general. Sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names, and I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name.
No! You have the nerve to show your face around here? You're a disgrace!
He seems to be turning his back on key campaign promises. He failed us when it came to the release of the Epstein files. He is now failing us on being the president of peace. No new wars, no wars in the Middle East. And he's in the process of failing us on mass deportations, as there are standing orders within the Republican Party to stop pushing deportations so hard. Mike Johnson says that the new appointment of a Homeland Security advisor is going to be a course correction for the United States. And it seems that the people who supported Donald Trump, the people who voted for Donald Trump, including myself, I voted for Donald Trump in 2024, have been betrayed. And although he's declared war or victory in the war with Iran, of course, there is no off-ramp as of yet. And he sent an additional 2,500 Marine service members to protect the Strait of Hormuz. CNN commentator Josh Rogan also made the similar remark and noted the contradiction there.
It's the definition of an escalation ladder. It's the thing that everyone talks about when you plan a short war, a war that's going to be quick and easy. It's essentially the enemy gets a vote, they escalate, your instinct is to re-escalate, then they re-escalate, and before you know it, you're in a quagmire. And sure enough, that seems exactly what's happening. It was only yesterday, remember, Abby, where Trump said, we're done, we won, we're going to get out, it's over, it's going to be over very, very soon. That's what he said yesterday. And today, he deployed 2,500 Marines and sent them toward Karg Island. It's going to take him 2 weeks to get there, and he abandoned any timelines for the war. It says it's going to take as long as it takes. So it's clear that the president has made a decision that he's going to escalate against the Iranians, and they're announcing that they're going to escalate against us. If we do that, and that just takes the region and the world into further economic chaos, further disruption, higher prices, higher inflation, more instability, more shortages, more migration, more extremism, and a war that lasts for months and months.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
And it should concern us all that Donald Trump has not identified what victory looks like or when that victory may come. Now, I acknowledge you may not be able to pinpoint a specific date. The war with Iran will end on this day, but you can elucidate clear goals of the United States military, which we absolutely should have, that will give us an inkling on when the war with Iran may end. But Donald Trump, he doesn't know. He's scrambling. In fact, the best he can say is that the war will end when he feels it in his bones. Oh, no.
It's all going to work out. Look, we took an excursion. We had the greatest economy ever. We still do. And we have to do a little excursion to get rid of mad people. It's going very well. We're way ahead of schedule. Way ahead. We have virtually unlimited ammunition. And we're using it. We're using it. We can go forever. We could do things that would be so bad they could literally never rebuild as a nation again. And we're trying to be nice about it.
When are you going to know when it's over?
When I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it in my bones.
Will you ask anybody in particular? Would that be some of a joint decision?
I deal with people. I have great people.
What the hell happened to us? What happened to the American dream? What happened to the American dream? It came true. You're looking at it.
When you feel like it isn't a condition for victory. If I were a service member, I would be terrified at this point. I would be terrified that my service, that my sacrifice were being wasted, that my life potentially may be sacrificed in vain. That's a terrible feeling to be in if you are a member of the U.S. military. And all of our service members, of course, deserve praise for selflessly sacrificing their safety for the betterment and the protection of American society. But I'm not sure that the war with Iran truly accomplishes that. Jim Jordan appeared on CNN and was doing his damnedest to defend the contradictions in Donald Trump's administration, the differences between campaign Donald Trump and current Donald Trump, because there does seem to be a discrepancy there.
President Trump makes decisions that are in the best interest of our country. President Trump does what he said he would do. He told the American people he'd secure the border, he did. He told them he'd cut taxes, he did.
He told them that he wouldn't start any new
he'd
wars.
make sure this regime didn't get nuclear capability, and he's making sure that is going to happen, that they do not get that capability in any way, shape, or form, because that would be, as Senator Graham said, what I think would be devastating for the price of oil and for all kinds of other reasons. That would be a bad outcome.
So you talked a little bit there about what the president said. I want to show you some of the things he said on the campaign trail and even before he ended up on the presidential campaign trail. Let's watch.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. We more and more are not wanting to be the policemen of the world. I will expel the warmongers from our national security state. We're going to end these endless wars, endless wars.
They're drafting you to go and fight in some country that I've never heard.
They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. How is that an example of President Trump doing what he said he was going to do?
Casey, he tried to. Go listen to the interview Mark Levin had with Steve Witkoff. They tried to negotiate with Iran, with the largest state sponsor of terrorism. They were willing to sit down with him, try to figure this out, try to negotiate, and they could tell from those, quote, negotiations that Iran was committed to pursuing and getting a nuclear weapon, and they said there was no other alternative.
Boy, I tell you, that really grinds my gears.
Getting a nuclear weapon, well, it's like everybody has forgotten. We had a strike, several precision strikes, in June of 2025 after Donald Trump was elected president. And he said at the time that their nuclear capabilities were decimated, that their nuclear capabilities were obliterated. We partnered again at the time with Israel to achieve that goal. And yet we're led to believe that in less than a year, they've completely recovered their ability to manufacture and refine nuclear ordnance? I find that difficult to believe. Either Donald Trump was lying then or Donald Trump is lying now. But he was clear in June of 2025 that we obliterated their capabilities.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and
a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
So that was a lie.
That obliteration seems to have been greatly exaggerated, especially since they are now identifying Iran's supposed nuclear capabilities as one of the motivating factors for the strike in Iran. Furthermore, Jim Jordan maintained that Donald Trump has fulfilled his promise to secure the border, and yet, simultaneously, Donald Trump is now scaling back his initiatives. In fact, he said that you got to lighten up on this. They've come to our country illegally, but they're good people, cheap workers. They're working on farms, in lunchrooms, and hotels. He's borrowing from Democrat rhetoric.
And we have a lot of heart. They said, you gotta lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms, and they're working in luncheonettes and hotels, you know. And we're looking to get the criminals out right now, the criminals. And I think it's very important. I mean, every once in a while you see a story, we take somebody. He should be out because they came in illegally. So in theory, they should be. But we're focused on the murderers, the drug dealers, the mentally insane. We have a lot of mentally insane killers. I mean, you can't even talk to them. It'd be nice if you could have a little reason, but you can't even reason. These are seriously ill people. You have a couple of countries where they were loaded up. Their mental institutions and insane asylums were loaded to the gills. They couldn't get. They're empty now, but they're filling up because we're bringing them all back. We know where they came from.
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
So obviously the most dangerous elements of illegal immigrants, the murderers, the rapists, the deranged killers and mentally unstable, absolutely, they should be prioritized. But ultimately, everybody who skipped the line, who crossed the border illegally to come here, should face deportation for their crime. We want you to come through the front door. Nobody is denying immigration to the United States. A tall wall and a wide gate. We just want you to do it the right way. But here, you heard him where he was talking about, well, they're good workers. I don't care if they're good workers. They should be employing American citizens. He's borrowing from Democrat rhetoric, the same Democrats who also pushed for a war in Iran. Hillary Clinton, during the lead up to the 2016 election, said that if Iran should attack Israel at any time, she would respond by attacking Iran. So it seems like the neocons, they change face, but the policies remain the same.
Well, the question was, if Iran were to launch a nuclear attack on Israel, what would our response be? And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
Yeah, well, I saw it on a rerun.
It's a rerun.
You'll find out.
Here we are 10 years later, and we're still doing the same thing. Donald Trump adopting policies of Democrats. He's no longer putting America first, and that pains me to say it, but everybody needs to hear it and understand it. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Coming up next, we got good news coming to the Eagle Creek Reservoir. Some utterly good news that I'll share with you in the next segment. Stay tuned.
College basketball in March is all about buzzer beaters and surprise upsets. But the last thing you want is a surprise at home. This time of year, as winter transitions to spring, hidden damage around your house can start showing up in ways homeowners don't expect. If you've been noticing cracked exterior brickwork, foundation wall cracks, gaps around floors or walls, bowed foundation walls, or even a leaning chimney, those aren't just cosmetic issues. They can be warning signs of severe foundation problems. Indiana Foundation Service knows these small signs can lead to serious structural damage over time, potentially potentially reducing your home's value and making repairs much more costly down the road. Don't let foundation problems turn into your home's biggest upset this season. They never get better with time. In fact, they usually get worse. Have Indiana Foundation Service come out and take a look. Visit indianafoundation.com today to schedule your free inspection and no obligation quote. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they're the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
I work here.
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 We all work here at Radio 1 Indianapolis, one of the most diverse media groups in the world. We bring very different backgrounds and ideas together to create the best information and entertainment around. And right now, we're looking for someone to join the family. We have a sales assistant position available. If you've got great organizational skills and an interest in media and entertainment, we want to talk to you. Apply now at radio1.com/careers. Bilingual preferred. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Enjoying a healthy dinner that tastes great means eating out at a pricey restaurant, right? Wrong. Healthy Choice Simply Steamers are delicious and healthy. The tray-and-tray steam technology delivers crisp veggies and tender protein in tasty selections, like Healthy Choice Simply Steamers grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo. It's a satisfying meal with 28 grams of protein and nothing artificial. Healthy Choice Simply Steamers. What having it all tastes like.
This season, get Express Pro Tire Auto's Refresh Your Ride package for just $69.99. Includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more. Some restrictions apply. See details at xpressspro.com.
Express Pro Tire and Auto.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
What's up on your crawl space? Do you know? I bet we do. Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted. SwancoLLC.com.
This hour is powered by Swanco, Indy's most trusted crawl space and basement contractor.
On Saturday night where I was born, down on the phone, guitar clinking and we started drinking till the break of dawn.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
We started clapping and he started singing this sweet little country song.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm Ethan Hatcher. That's producer Kylan. And I see your comments in the YouTube chat that said that there was briefly a sound issue, but producer Kylan tells me that we seem to have resolved that, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sound is back for your live streaming. Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're listening.
Excellent. I'll take that over what Jason Hammer had to deal with yesterday when they were playing smooth jazz over I think the first segment and a half. Did you hear about that, producer Kylan?
Producer Allison had talked to us about it.
Yeah, she sent out a company-wide email to all the producers.
You mean you don't want this?
Mm-hmm.
In the background?
Who put the smooth jazz up on the streaming PC? That's what I want to know.
What a lovely question.
Well, we got so many PCs that you can use. Why would you use that one of all the PCs? I don't get it. But yeah, no smooth jazz and the sound is back. But I also have a very special announcement, producer Kylan. I haven't made it. Superfan Drake has made this. We've collaborated to make what I hope will be the first. Well, not what I hope will be. It is the first Saturday Night on the Circle merchandise. This is a Saturday Night on the Circle commemorative coin. You've got my ugly mug right there on the front. One of my phonographs in the back. That's much prettier looking than I am. And then on the back of the coin, a picture of the circle with Oof Nation right there at the bottom. I'm very excited about this, producer Kylan. You had a chance to check this out too. What'd you think?
It is so stinking cool. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on this thing. And it's quality, too. It's a solid
yeah.
piece of coin. What was it made of?
It's brass, so it's going to last for a long time. I mean, it's heavy, it's sizable. I'm very excited about this. I'm trying to hold it up there for the camera. You got a good view of it, Kylan?
Yeah, you can see it really well on the YouTube chat.
Okay, and I'll flip it around again so that way you can see the front of it. This will be coming to a merchandise store near you. I've talked with Jason Hammer. He said theoretically he will allow me to put this on the already pre-existing Hammer and Nigel store. They are currently in production. I'm making a run of 50 of these coins that will be distributed to you should you want to have one. I'm pretty excited about this. It will be up on the Hammer and Nigel store. Maybe give it a week or two, I'm hoping. But yeah, after we've built up a small stock to satisfy any orders that come through, they will be listed and available for purchase. Haven't set a price point yet, but if you want to support me, support Saturday Night on the Circle, and depending on how well these do, I may produce more Saturday Night on the Circle merch in the future. But this is very exciting, producer. I'm very excited about
Oof
this.
Nation, unite.
Absolutely. What I'm not excited about, however, is this plan that the governor is going to attempt to implement to toll all 150 plus miles of I-70, the corridor that crosses the crossroads of America. And there's no exemption that's been mentioned for Hoosier citizens. Worse yet, it could also increase the cost of goods crossing our state, which is a tax on you because those manufacturers pass down increased cost of goods onto the people who purchase those goods. It would be 10 cents for cars for citizens traveling, up to $15, almost $20, crossing the state of Indiana. Could be $80 for semi-trucks who choose to cross our state. This reported by WTHR.
We're learning more about Indiana's plans to potentially charge drivers on the interstate to help fund a multi-billion-dollar rebuild of Interstate 70. Our Alex Almanza has been digging into newly obtained documents. So, Alex, what did you find?
Well, this plan lays out a border-to-border tolling infrastructure plan. As you can see from this map right here, from Terre Haute all the way to Richmond. This is about 150 miles border-to-border tolling infrastructure, and this is something that we've known for months, over 150 miles. What things start to get really interesting is these new documents that we obtained this afternoon show how much Indiana might be looking to charge drivers for using I-70. So passenger vehicles are looking about 10 cents per mile. So that's dependent on how many miles you use. Of course, there are going to be multiple checkpoints throughout I-70. So if I wanted to drive from Terre Haute all the way to Cloverdale, that's going to be about 40 miles. 40 times 10 is going to be about $4 for that trip. Now, things are going to get a little bit more expensive for larger trucks. Think about some of those freight trucks coming through. Large trucks, 54 cents per mile. So a trip from the Illinois state border all the way to Ohio could cost a truck about $80.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The lawmakers are lying to you, producer Kylan. They're lying to me. They're lying to all of our listeners when they say that they don't have the road funding to maintain the roads. Since 2015, road funding has increased by 60%. Now they're saying, oh, well, there's more electric vehicles on the roadways, and that means that we're not paying the gas tax, which is one of the highest gas taxes in the nation, mind you. But yeah, we're not paying the gas taxes with electric vehicles, so obviously we got to implement tolling across I-70. Well, guess what, producer Kylan? Just hazard a guess. What percentage of electric vehicles do you think are registered in the state of Indiana? Just throw out a guess.
Of electric vehicles?
What percent of electric vehicles are driven in the state of Indiana and registered here?
Surely not even like 30%, right? Not even.
No, not even a fraction of 30%. Actually, according to the estimates I have here, about 0.56% of vehicles registered in the state of Indiana are all electric vehicles. And these clowns are trying to say that 0.5% of registered vehicles are having a significant impact on the gas taxes that are being paid. It's not even 30% of all cars in the United States are electric vehicles. If you expand that nationally, between 1.4 to 2% of all vehicles registered in the continental United States are electric vehicles. So these people are lying to you when they say that it's because of electric vehicles that they need to impose this additional tax on you by tolling the I-70 road. And think about the tax and the burden that this is going to put on communities as they divert traffic onto the state roads, onto people who will now avoid traveling on the highway if they can, and instead travel on, say, I-40 or US 40, I should say, across Indiana, the national road, onto the other state roads instead of traveling on the highway. This is ridiculous, and these people should feel ashamed of themselves. But I do have some good news that I wanted to share. Like I said, it is otterly good news. A tracker has found signs of otters at Eagle Creek Park for the first time. In the gay community, an otter is a term that's used to describe a man with a slim, lean, or athletic build with a moderate to significant amount of body hair, often facial hair. This body type is positioned as a middle ground between a bear or a twink, which is a younger, slimmer, and less hairless man. Well, okay. Now, I don't think that they're talking about gay men coming to Eagle Creek. No, they meant river otters. Oh, yes, that makes much more sense. But yes, a river otter spotted for the first time in Eagle Creek. I think that's great.
Eagle Creek is known as a birding hotspot. It's home to hundreds of species, and it's on the near northwest side. And now something new might be calling that popular reservoir home.
Our Jenna Webster shows us this discovery and why this means good news for that park's ecosystem.
March brings signs of spring to Eagle Creek Park.
Pretty good. You don't have to leave it.
It's in between home and work, so I often stop here and poke around a couple times a week.
Nathan Young looks for other signs.
So here are eagle tracks. Walked along the beach.
Hoping to catch a glimpse of who was here before.
A couple of great blue herons moved here. In trackers, we call it just kind of reading the morning newspaper. You know, you come out and see who was doing what.
These sightings are typical headlines at Eagle Creek Park.
You're just moving along, looking at all the tracks and the marks on the ground, and you stumble into an animal that's never been documented in an area before.
Then Young found something new.
That's pretty cool.
5-digit, large webbed foot tracks he photographed belong to the river otter, never before seen at Eagle Creek Park.
The 3 times that we've seen them, it's been an individual trail. So just an individual otter, which makes sense, most likely male, that's dispersing through, just looking for new territory.
So they're a really neat conservation story.
In the late 90s, the Indiana DNR reintroduced 300 river otters in a couple counties after they went extinct in the state. Now there's as many as 9,000 across every county.
They've been kind of doing exploratory movements, coming through the White River and stuff like that in Marion County for a little while now, so it's exciting that they're starting to get back into the park and the big reservoir and stuff.
This is an ecological success story, producer Kylan. After the river otter went extinct in the state of Indiana, now we have thousands of them, and they're returning to Eagle Creek Reservoir. I love otters. They're so cute. I think they're so adorable. They're great.
I think they're so cute when they're hugging their partner and like floating down the river together.
Yeah, they hold hands when they're sleeping. I mean, how cute can you get when you're a little furry river critter like that? That's great.
I can't help but wonder what the LEAP plan is gonna, because that's the other big story with Eagle Creek right now.
That is an excellent question, especially when they are potentially evacuating necessary water resources from the region to sate the thirst of these mega corporations moving in to rural parts of Indiana. That's something to consider. Absolutely. Very, very keen observation, producer Kylan. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. We've got more on the way. Don't miss a moment. The Sound Dump is coming up next.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Every week on the Stacking Benjamins podcast, we talk personal finance trends.
Not paying attention to the headlines is the strategy proven to work.
One headline, economists fear global recession. Literally the next headline, stocks hit all-time highs, investors optimistic on the future.
They're even doing it to the weather now. 28 million people in the path of this snowstorm. That means 340 million people have got good weather. It's just weather.
Layers, people, layers.
Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Fox News, I'm Roger. Starting the U.S. striking Karg Island in the Persian Gulf, a pass-through point for more than 90% of Iran's oil, and the White House is happy.
President posted U.S. Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Karg Island.
Fox's Steve Harrigan, the U.S. attacked Karg Island after Iran started blocking Western oil shipments to the Strait of Hormuz. We're learning that 2 weeks before Thursday's attack on a Michigan synagogue, they had gotten warnings of new dangers for Jewish houses of worship.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard said he texted with the head of security at the temple with some information and ideas about how to further protect the place of worship.
Fox's Deborah Valentine reporting, America is listening to Fox News.
For 22 years, Exercise Inc. has helped Hoosiers build muscle, lose weight, and transform their health, creating lifelong habits. Only takes 20 minutes once a week. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water seeping into your attic, walls, insulation, causing mold and rot, expensive structural damage. The good news is that Moss Roofing offers free inspections right now. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. So don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust who I trust. Moss Roofing, to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right, every single time, visit mossroofing.com or call 317-747-3665. That's mossroofing.com, 317-747-3665. And let them know Tony Katz sent you. MOSS, mossroofing.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again to don your handy-dandy hazmat suits while we wade through another week in news, beginning with perplexing statements from the Trump administration blaming Joe Biden for gas price hikes caused by the war with Iran. The Secretary of the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, says that the Strait of Hormuz is as safe as can be, minus the Iranian mines and missile threat. Chuck Schumer gives away the game when he says that the Save America Act will allow ICE to remove millions from the voter rolls, and a Wisconsin teacher panders to transgender students by denying parental rights. You'll hear these stories and more for another edition of The Sound Dump.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you wanna ride. I'm a garbage truck.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm the bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, and that's guest producer Kylan, pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Right there in the producer's fishbowl here at 93 WIBC. We begin with J.D. Vance, Vice President of the United States, perplexingly blaming Joe Biden for the gas prices that have been caused, the gas price hike that have been caused by the war with Iran that was initiated by President Trump.
All this conversation happens where Joe Biden left us in a terrible situation, and the reason why gas prices are where they are today is because of Donald Trump's work to get them lower, because in the Biden administration, they were crazy high. The gas prices we're seeing today are nothing like what we saw at the peak of the Biden administration because the president has set us up for energy dominance. And one of the lessons we all have to take away, frankly, every time we get involved in anything overseas, whether it's in the Middle East or anywhere else, the thing we got to take away from it is energy dominance and energy independence. Rely on our own people, rely on our own energy.
You do seriously surprise me.
Thank you, Chef. I was hoping you'd see that. I mean, I'd give it all I got. Give you 110.
You surprise me to how you are.
Now, Sleepy Joe Biden is old hat at this point. He's been out of office for more than a year. A year is your expiration date. You can't continue to blame the previous administration for the problems of today when you have more than a year between you separating your administration from their administration. That's a problem. And while the Joe Biden administration's energy policies were certainly lackluster, you know what also sucks for the people who are paying increased prices at the gas pump? This war with Iran, which has caused a rapid inflation of gas prices as supply has been limited and demand has increased, and therefore the costs have skyrocketed. That is a byproduct of Trump administration decisions. You can't keep pointing the finger at a guy who isn't in office anymore. Pete Hegseth also playing word games as he's declaring the Strait of Hormuz perfectly safe, minus Iranian missiles. What?
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that.
That doesn't make sense.
It's open for transit, minus the missiles and mines. Yeah, that would not make me feel safe, especially when we already had an oil tanker attacked by Iran. That's crazy stuff. Chuck Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate, has given away the game when he said that the Save America Act, which would require citizens to provide proof of citizenship before registering, that it would empower ICE agents to remove millions of Americans from the voter rolls. Well, wait a minute. ICE is immigration enforcement. How would they be removing Americans from the voter rolls unless those Americans weren't citizens? Uh-oh.
Their bill isn't voter ID, number one. It is about voter registration. It allows ICE to kick tens of millions of people off the rolls. Off the rolls, and they don't tell them until Election Day, and you show up and you say, you're not registered anymore. You're not registered here. You're not on the rolls.
What an odd thing to say.
ICE isn't in charge of voter registration, and to the extent that they would have any influence, again, it would be because they're deporting non-citizens from the country who shouldn't be on the voter rolls anyway, Mr. Minority Leader. Rob Schneider sat down with Bill O'Reilly and offered a humorous explanation for why the mainstream media and late-night comedians are biased against Republicans and the Trump administration.
Why do you think that the Trump administration is so vilified
by the Kimmels, the Colberts, the network news. Why do they hate him so much?
I think it's liberal women that have lost their minds are controlling these men, and these guys have no more balls.
Oh, I thought you said they changed. You were going to so
Kimmel has no balls. Kimmel is ballless. He's been deballed by his wife. His wife is the head writer of the show. She used to be an assistant writer. Now she's the writer. And I think that's completely ruined him. I do. I mean, I'm sorry, Jimmy, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right.
I don't want to sound sexist, but women are an absolute disaster and a menace to society.
You need to take those testicles and take them out of the purse, Jimmy Kimmel. Here was a liberal woman in Wisconsin, a teacher, proudly bragging of how she intends to pander to transgender students by denying parental rights and keeping secrets.
So this is something I'm starting this semester to help with inclusivity in the classroom, making sure students feel comfortable. So on our first day, I made a simple Google form. My form asks very simple things. It asks what classes they're in. It asks a preferred name or nickname, preferred pronouns. It asks, is this safe for me to use when I call or email home? And then it asks things about food allergies because we do cook in my class. Then I take that information and I put it straight on my roster. So this is what the substitute sees or anybody that comes into my classroom if I'm gone for a day. So this information's all on like the roster. So I made up a fake one. So here's how I do it. Their name as it is in the school system is listed. If they have like a preferred name or nickname, I wrote that in there. And notice I left their legal name because they'll go by either. And then I put the pronouns in. And then I put if it was okay to use at home. For this one, I crossed out that name. That's their dead name. They don't want that used anymore. So we're going to go by their preferred name. That way somebody else that walks into my classroom doesn't even know what it is and doesn't call them by the wrong name. And then we put their pronouns. And then, like this one said, yeah, it's okay. And then again, we have another dead name. We've crossed it out. Nobody can even tell what it is. And we can only call them by their preferred name. Their preferred pronouns are listed. And then this one, hypothetically, they said no. And so we would know if we were calling home, we would never use that name. And we would need to use the name that's in the official system. I started doing this. I saw this idea here on TikTok. I just thought it was a really good way to make students feel super comfortable. And I really like that it includes, hey, is this okay to use at home or not okay to use at home? Because that's a really important question to ask your kiddos.
Am I evil? Am I like an evil person? Oh my God. I mean, absolutely. Do I not tell you that enough? You are like the most evil guy I know, man.
Parents have the absolute uninhibited right to raise their children in the best way that they deem fit. If you are depriving parents of pertinent information, you should be removed from your position as a teacher. That's a big problem, especially when the transgender community has such a high rate of suicide. Parents have a right to know if their children are experiencing mental distress, which that would be evidence of. And that teacher needs to be taken out of school immediately. But these are the people, when you put your kids in public school, that's the kind of influence that they are subject to. Wanted to play one final soundbite by a representative named Lorena Garcia of, I believe it was Colorado State Rep, who opposed a bill which would require mandatory jail sentencing for child sex crimes because she doesn't want to send pedophiles to jail where they could be raped.
The other reason I'm voting no is because we didn't even talk about PREA today. PREA is the Prison Rape Elimination Act. 43% of people incarcerated experience rape while incarcerated. We are not a system that is eye for an eye here. Even as a survivor of rape, I do not wish that on anybody, not even my own rapist. And when we are sending people to indeterminate sentencing, if that even were to happen, we are not only sending them to spend time being punished, which they absolutely should be, we are also sentencing them to inhumane torture. And I won't be a part of that. My heart hurts profoundly for all the survivors who have shared their stories, and for those who are out there trying to deal with the harm that has been inflicted upon them. But I cannot participate in creating more victims.
It is crazy. We say to give a woman power is like to give a gun to a monkey. We have stopped doing that ever since the 1999 Astana Zoo massacre.
This is clearly suicidal empathy in action. When you have more concern for creating victims, you don't get to claim the victim card when you have abused children, but creating victims by sending sex abusers, child sex abusers to prison for the crimes that they have committed. This is a problem. This is suicidal empathy in action. This woman is a lunatic. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Stay tuned for more. 93 WIBC.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
A $200 million buyback in mortgage securities plus a new rate-friendly Fed chair is coming this spring. These moves are intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now is the time to prepare to sell your home. It's time to call the expert, Mark Dietel. Maybe you need to sell now, maybe you need to maximize price, buying or selling fast or maximum cash. Mark Dietel has the proven plan to sell your home based on your needs, guaranteed. Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert trusted and recommended with the sale of your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You just pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Sharon in Greenwood said, I had moved into my new home and I needed a smooth sale of my old place ASAP. Mark Dietel's team prepped my home quickly and launched an aggressive marketing plan. Success. It's sold over asking in just 10 days while making everything simple and stress-free for me. Call the local Indianapolis agent, trusted and recommended. The agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232. Get all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, March 16th, it's our tax time bonus sale. Save up to 50% off, plus we pay your sales tax on everything, and extra discounts for cash or 1-year interest-free financing. And don't forget, free delivery, saving you more. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You listen to WIBC, now come work with us. We're looking for our next integrated marketing specialist. If you're an experienced sales professional with a proven track record, apply now at radio1.com/careers. Bilingual speakers preferred. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle. We've only got a couple minutes to spare, but I wanted to share the story of tight-lipped Tommy Thompson, who didn't spill the beans on where he stashed more than 500 gold coins from the greatest treasure discovery in American history, when in 1988 he discovered the SS Central America that sank off the shores of South Carolina more than 150 years ago, carrying with it several tons of gold, 100 gold bars, gold coins, and it helped precipitate the financial crisis in the 1850s because of how much wealth sank to the bottom of the ocean. He discovered that in 1988 and helped rescue much of the treasure, selling it off and acquiring a fortune of several $1 million. But due to a contractual dispute that he had with investors who had funded this, he was eventually sentenced to contempt of court because he refused to reveal the location of more than 500 gold coins that were recovered from the wreck. He spent the last 10 years in jail, but he didn't reveal where they were. The closest they ever got was that he said he sent them to a trust in Brazil, but didn't reveal where it was, and they never found him. So as far as anybody's concerned, Tommy Thompson now has sole discretionary control over those gold coins. More power to him. I think that's incredible. I would love to be on the receiving end of a discovery like that, producer Kylan. How cool is that?
I want to go on a treasure hunt now. Give me a map.
Uh-huh.
Something.
Well, I mean, heck, I'll go on an unmanned vehicle or pilot an unmanned vehicle and dig up some stuff from the Titanic.
See?
There's
That'd
still
be so cool.
There's still some badass stuff at the bottom of the ocean. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. More news on the war with Iran coming up next. Stay tuned.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefit.
Hey, what's up? It's Nigel. Had a chance to stop by PA Jewelers in Brownsburg. It's such a great, unique, family-owned jewelry store. Huge selection and probably the most competitive pricing on these beautiful pieces of jewelry that I've ever seen. So guys, did you forget your anniversary again? Trying to impress a lady in your life? Celebrating a birthday? You have to get to PA Jewelers in Brownsburg. They don't mark up their jewelry like the other guys. Sale prices every single day. PA Jewelers in Brownsburg. Tell them Nigel sent you.
I work here.
I work here.
I work here. I work here.
I work here.
I work here.
We all work here at Radio 1 Indianapolis, one of the most diverse media groups in the world. We bring very different backgrounds and ideas together to create the best information and entertainment around. And right now, we're looking for someone to join the family. We have a rare opening for an integrated marketing specialist. If you're an experienced sales professional with a proven background, we want to talk to you. Apply now at radio1.com/careers. Bilingual preferred. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel Show. It's madness time, and it's time to get that hair game back in the game. So if you're struggling with hair loss, now is the perfect time to contact We Grow Hair Indy. I recently had my procedure there, and these guys are the best. They answer every question. They take good care of you. They follow up. They've got doctors and nurses on call all the time. They use state-of-the-art technology. They use robotics. You're not going to be out of work very long. I'm telling you, these guys are the absolute best. I know it firsthand. I probably had a lot of the same questions you guys did, but I'm so happy I had the procedure. So set up a free consultation today. 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com and schedule that free evaluation today.
From the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, this is 93 WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
Another missile strike. I'm Roger Stern, Fox News. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was struck by a missile today. No injuries reported, but Americans are being warned, get out of Iraq now. Fox's Jill Nader reports.
The State Department's TravelGov account on X says Iran-aligned terrorist militias have encouraged and conducted indiscriminate attacks on U.S. citizens and targets associated with the United States throughout Iraq. The Post goes on to say U.S. citizens should leave Iraq now, do not attempt to come to the embassy in Baghdad or the consulate general in Erbil in light of the ongoing risk of missiles, drones, and rockets in Iraqi airspace. State also says Iran-aligned terrorist militias have repeatedly attacked the international zone in central Baghdad. The international zone remains closed with limited exceptions. Jill Nader, Fox News.
Travel chaos at airports this weekend as travelers are waiting hours to get in line through security because 50,000 TSA workers are not getting paid. Fox's Madison Scarpino at Atlanta's Hartfield-Jackson International Airport.
This is the second time TSA workers are not getting paid since that record 43-day government shutdown just months ago. But this time it's all happening in the midst of a busy spring break travel season. Officials are urging people to get here at least 3 hours before their flights. The Philadelphia airport also had really bad lines. They are also temporarily closing one of their checkpoints because of, quote, constraints related to the government shutdown. And this is frustrating a lot of passengers.
Some airlines are asking the public to donate basic necessities to help TSA agents struggling to get by during the shutdown. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world, Trey Yingst, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel. To Washington, I'm Mike Emanuel. To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The hits just keep on coming. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. It won't be as severe as what Northwest Indiana got about a week ago, but forecaster Matt Etkoff from the National Weather Service says Hoosiers still need to be ready for another strong weather system Sunday night.
With the strength of this system, that southerly wind will be quite gusty at times, and we could have wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour with the warmth.
And with that, another chance for tornadoes. At least 3 were confirmed to have touched down in the state back on March 10th. Police in Morgan County are investigating an apparent murder-suicide in Monrovia. A 911 call came in Friday from a man who said he shot his wife. When officers got there, they found a man and a woman with gunshot wounds. They were both pronounced dead. Also in the home was a 4-year-old girl. She and her 9-year-old sister are now both with child services. The man who police in Westfield say was suspiciously killed earlier this week has been identified. The Westfield Police Department said 47-year-old James Matt Lushan was found dead inside a home on Thursday with trauma-related injuries. Officers are ruling his death as a homicide. Authorities believe the incident was isolated. And gas prices making a big jump so far in March. The nationwide average has gone up almost 35 cents compared to earlier this month as the war in Iran continues. U.S. Senator Jim Banks is predicting that prices will not be like this too much longer.
There are short-term objectives here. At the end of the day, preventing Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon. It's my sense that everything that we need to do, we can do in days, not months.
Banks told Wish TV that the sooner this conflict in the Middle East is over, the sooner Hoosiers will be seeing better prices at the pump. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy, warm, and windy. Winds gusting over 40, highs in the low 70s. A squall line of storms is expected to cross central Indiana in the early overnight hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strength.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Can music save your mortal
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is hour 2 of Saturday Night on the Circle. If you missed a moment of the program, catch the podcast uploaded to WIBC.com, as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. Again, personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. That's where we upload the show, and you can listen to past episodes as well. Also wanted to share once again, for those who missed the announcement, I'm holding in my hands the first Saturday Night on the Circle merch that was produced by superfan Drake. We are issuing a series of about 50 commemorative coins that will be for sale shortly. They are currently in production. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, it should be for sale shortly. We're going to be listing them on the Hammer and Nigel merchandise page, I believe. I talked about that with Jason earlier. We'll be ironing out the details very quickly, hopefully. Thanks for listening to the show. Hour 1, we began the program discussing the war with Iran, and I'm beginning hour 2 the same way. And Donald Trump has announced that there are Iranian sleeper cells that are being activated across the United States. But don't worry, because he says that we're on top of it, we're tracking them, but we apparently haven't captured them yet, and that's a little concerning.
Have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing to watch.
I'm in danger.
We've got our eye on all of them, I think. That doesn't inspire me with much confidence, especially when, if you have identified them, it certainly begs the question of why, up until this point, they have eluded capture. We've now had several spontaneous attacks across the United States, beginning with that shooting at a Texas bar by a crazed maniac wearing a Property of Allah shirt and an Iran shirt beneath that. We had the shooting of Old Dominion University former National Guard member shouting Allahu Akbar as he killed American citizens, and then also the attack at the Michigan synagogue. All of these are problems, all of these caused by the American assault on Iran. And one issue that I wanted to circle back to, we discussed this on last week's edition of the show as well, but it would be the seeming influence of Israel over United States foreign policy. And I know some people scoff at that, but I'm not creating this conspiracy. I'm just referring back to the words of the United States officials themselves, including Donald Trump, who, beginning last year after the attack on Iran, complimented Israel and the partnership between the United States and them.
I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so.
This ruffles my jammies.
So the way that the president framed destroying, obliterating the Iranian nuclear capability was the threat not to America, not to United States citizens, but the threat to Israel that was the priority. I didn't put those words in the president's mouth. Those were the words that he chose to use. Again, after the most recent strike against Iran, after initiating the war with Iran, the president said that if we didn't strike first, then Iran would have attacked Israel first. This isn't something that I've said. This is something that the president has said.
Been killing our people and killing people from all over the world, and I think we have great support. And I think if we didn't do it first, they would have done it to Israel and give us a shot if that was possible.
Curiouser and curiouser.
So what the president is talking about there is precognition. We struck first so that way they didn't strike out at the United States, or actually what he said was Israel, the United States ally in the Middle East. But Israel should be responsible for their own self-defense. Israel should be responsible for prosecuting their own wars in the Middle East in their own interests. And I absolutely believe that Israel as a country has the right to self-defense. I also think that we should be able to delineate the difference between criticism of the Jewish people as an ethnicity or as a religion from criticism of the Jewish state, which are separate and distinct entities. And in this case, I'm talking about Israel, the country, and not the Jewish people or the religion of Judaism. Pete Hegseth himself, the phrasing that the Secretary of War is using here is very indicative, because whose war does he say it is? Not the United States war, not the United States mission, but the mission of Israel that is being enacted.
To our steadfast partner, Israel, your mission is being executed with unmatched skill and iron determination. Fighting shoulder to shoulder with such a capable ally is a true force multiplier and a breath of fresh air. We salute your courage and your contribution.
Would you look at that?
I'll put that
just
on.
look at that.
I can't pull it out either. I'd have to drill it.
Would you just look at it?
Yeah, it's sad. It's the only mark.
I mean, just look at it.
Yeah.
You heard his words very distinctly. Whose mission? Not our mission, their mission. That's a problem. I think it is a problem when allies are influencing the United States foreign policy in much the same way that they should have sole discretion over their foreign policy. We should have sole discretion over our foreign policy as well. Recently, you've had representatives like Ted Cruz who have gone so far as to say, if you do not stand with Israel, I do not stand with you. And now he's saying that if you use the phrase Christ is king, that's somehow a code word for screw the Jews.
It is being used online in a way that is meant to say, screw you, Jew. It is being used in a context very directly to say, I hate Jews, and that's almost an online code word. Christ is king is, I hate the Jew.
Is that your view, or why do you say that?
Because you see the people who are saying it, and they're saying it in that context. They're saying Jews are horrible, good, like they're attacking Jews, and they end with Christ is king to make it sound like somehow there's a biblical basis for attacking Jews. Look, Jesus was a Jew. And by the way, the twisted theology that says Jews are Christ killers, and that's been used to justify anti-Semitism, to justify persecution and murder. Look, as I read the Gospels, Jesus went to the cross willingly. He made the choice to go to the cross, and it was not the Jews who killed Jesus. It was me. It was you.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the divinity of Scripture, but according to my reading of the Scripture, it's as true to say that Jesus was a Jew as it is to say the Jews demanded the death of Jesus. I refer specifically to Luke chapter 23, verses 13 to 23, focusing on 18 to 23, where it says, the whole crowd shouted, away with this man, release Barabbas to us. Barabbas had been thrown into prison for an insurrection in the city and for murder. Wanting to release Jesus, Pilate appealed to them again, but they kept shouting, crucify him, crucify him. For the third time he spoke to them, why? What crime has this man committed? I have found him in no grounds for the death penalty. Therefore I will have him punished and then release him. But with loud shouts they incessantly demanded that he be crucified, and their shouts prevailed. So Pilate decided to grant their demand. It appears to me that Ted Cruz does not have as firm of a grasp on Scripture as he might want to believe. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. Coming up next, replaying conversation with Nigel Laskowski on Hammer and Nigel.
March is an exciting time of the year, and we want you to go all the way. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. During tax time, bring in your refund. We'll double it towards your down payment, up to $2,000. Shop any of Hubler's 13 locations or online at drivehubler.com. Choose from over 2,000 vehicles, all makes and models. Plus, get even more for your trade. Bring Hubler your old car for an immediate appraisal on the spot. And up to $2,000 more for your trade. Every Hubler Q certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and a free Carfax history report. Tax time at Hubler means you get more for your refund. Up to $2,000 more at any of our 13 convenient locations or visit drivehubler.com. Cover me! Warranty on select models less than 9 years old. Deductions for high mileage maintenance reconditioning. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Tyrese Halliburton. I care about Indiana and the people who live here. We look out for each other, and sometimes that means stepping up in ways we don't always think about. Saying yes to organ donation, that's one of those ways. For real, just one organ donor can save 8 lives. That means your yes could give someone more time with family, more experiences with loved ones, more life. When you say yes to organ donation, you have the power to save lives.
Hey, your basement called. It said, waterproof me. So, call Swainco. 317-407-1868. SwaincoLLC.com.
It's Terry Stacy, and thousands of people start the year with good intentions of losing weight and getting in shape by spring. For over 22 years, Exercising has helped Hoosiers build muscle and lose weight and transform their health, which means creating lifelong habits rather than a resolution most of us don't keep. Exercising works, and the best part about it, it only takes 20 minutes once a week. Their unique training method was developed in an osteoporosis research study to help prevent bone mineral loss in older women. The women in the study got very strong in a short amount of time. When the method is applied to normal, healthy adults, both men and women get a lot stronger. Their Simple 9 nutritional program has helped their clients lose over 40,000 pounds since 2013. They've also seen their clients lower blood pressure, improve blood sugar, and get off prescription meds. Get started right now. Avon, Brownsburg, Fishers, Greenwood, and Zionsville. Change your life in 20 minutes once a week. Go to exerciseinc.com to request a free consultation.
This hour is powered by Swainco, Indy's most trusted crawl space and basement contractor.
Everybody's heard about the bird. The bird. The bird's a winner. Well, the bird. Bird is a winner.
This is Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. And I wanted to lighten the mood a little bit, considering that we've discussed some rather heavy topics on this week's edition of the show, dealing with the war in Iran and foreign policy blunders of the Trump administration. What better way to lighten the mood than by replaying a conversation from the Hammer and Nigel show I was co-hosting this week with Nigel Laskowski, and we did a very entertaining conversation for Is This Anything? Took a jog down memory lane for both myself and Nigel. One thing you can always count on in the Hammer and Nigel show is highbrow programming. And in this case, for Is This Anything? We had poop conversation. But you're always in for a good time with Nigel Laskowski. I hope you enjoy it.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
And we're brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed, a program presented by the Attorney General's office here in Indiana, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. Fast, easy, and free to search up. Just type your name in, see if you got any money floating around out there. It's really easy to claim, and it's really easy to search your name at indianaunclaimed.gov. Have you ever tried it, Ethan?
Yeah.
And have you been successful?
Yeah, I got $20. $20 is $20, you know? That's at least a 10-piece McNugget at McDonald's these days.
Sure, at least. Yeah. $20 is $20. A phenomenal motto that can go in a lot of places. I've heard that one before. Where have I heard that? Accidentally.
Best not to talk too much in detail about that, Nige.
Oh, I just spit out something on my. That's gross. Accidentally soiling your britches could be embarrassing enough, Ethan, but imagine doing it with millions watching. Are you a Survivor guy?
Nah, not a big reality television consumer. Unless occasionally, I guess my guilty pleasure is Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Or Kitchen Nightmares.
Sure,
I enjoy
that's fun.
that. Yeah.
On Survivor 50 last night, Christian was talking to Joe around the fire, had to quickly excuse himself from the conversation because he crapped his pants.
Oh, no.
At CBS, I saw the clip. He blurred out the back. They blurred out the back of his trousers.
I'll be right back, Joe.
Christian freezes like a statue. He turns and he's wearing khakis. I don't think he sat a smashed banana. I think he's going to need a new pair of underwear.
The sheer and utter embarrassment of unexpected gastrointestinal distress. And now I have entered the pantheon, the history of people whose pants became unexpectedly colored. My wife is going to divorce me.
This is something, right? On national TV?
I would not. Was it unexpected? Because I would not put it past the producers to sneak some laxatives in his coconut milk on the Survivor Island. Would you?
Yeah, you can't be slipping people laxatives on the island.
They signed a waiver?
Is that right? Is that how it works? Now, I'm assuming a guy like you, who is on the job site an awful lot, doesn't always immediately have access to bathrooms. You own many different properties. You rent them out, but you also rehab. And when you're on the job, I'm assuming it's, I wouldn't put it past you to take a bucket out in the back and
whoa,
do your thing.
You can just drive down to the office, Nigel. It's never that dire. I mean, just a trip couple of blocks down the road.
It's never been that dire. Oh, I've had plenty of times when it's been dire. And I often think to myself, well, I'll give you a perfect example. Tampa Bay International Airport, circa early 2000s. Partied all week with my friends at the airport, drinking at the bar. Had an appetizer, wanted to get kind of a nice base before I got back on the plane to Indy. And that's my stomach gurgling.
I could tell. I got the sound effects.
And I was feeling
they didn't
good.
Have any bathrooms at the airport?
No. I unfortunately had to leave my boxers there at the airport. They were, I remember vividly, they were yellow polka dot boxers, Abercrombie and Fitch, that the girl I was dating at the time bought me. And I remember she asked me, I'm just now remembering this. Like a week or two later, she's like, "Where are those boxers I bought you?" And I had to make up. I don't know what I said. I know I didn't tell her the truth, but they didn't make it out of the Tampa bathroom.
Have you ever heard the stories about Blackbeard the pirate? Whenever he was getting ready to go into battle, he demanded his first mate, "Give me my red shirt, so that way, if I bleed, they will not see the blood on my shirt."
Right.
And then he sees the British Navy coming, and he says, "First mate, give me my brown pants."
Bravo! Bravo! So, but it's never been a problem for you especially on a job site where you're rehabbing a house, but there's
most of the time the bathroom is still intact. Although occasionally we have tore apart a bathroom and then we got to go down to the office or the nearest McDonald's. But this is America, Nigel. This is America. There are bathrooms everywhere. This isn't a third world country.
When my brother, works where he works doesn't have a bathroom immediately next to him. He's got to go I think he has to go to a fast food restaurant. He works in Avon, right? And so he goes to the fast food restaurant and walks in, and he realizes there's no toilet paper.
Oh no!
And so again, this is my brother, and so he called the restaurant that he was in and asked them while he was in their own stall sitting down. He called them and asked them to bring him a roll of toilet paper. He actually got somebody on the phone, and so the guy walked in and said, "Damn!" and just put the toilet paper roll on the sink and made my brother, he had to get out of the stall
and
go pick up the toilet paper.
Something similar actually happened to me once, Nigel.
Here we go. See, you tried to act all pristine like this kind of thing.
I was in Egypt. I was in a foreign country, Nigel. And so you go to the bathroom. I think we were outside the pyramids, and there's a public restroom a little ways away. And there was a guy standing in, Muslim attire, long white robe. He had a turban on, and he's selling toilet paper by the dollar. I think it was $2, and you got 9 squares.
9 squares. I was going to say, how many squares?
Of toilet paper.
Can you spare a square? Yeah.
And 9 squares wasn't going to cut it, Nige. 9 squares wasn't going to cut it.
So
had to go back. Had to get some more money.
That is an incredible story. You bought toilet paper from a street vendor
by the square
in Egypt.
Yes, outside the restaurant.
By the square. That is a great story.
But besides the rather lackluster bathroom experience at the feet of the pyramids of Giza, everything else about the trip to Egypt was unforgettable, and I would love to go back and see it all again. It's a vacation memory I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. Everything from seeing the enormous statues carved into the side of the mountain at Abu Simbel to being inside the tomb of King Tutankhamun and seeing paint that was literally thousands of years old, to taking a trip down the Nile, a cruise to the Temple of Karnak, or getting to experience the relics and the mummies of the museum in Cairo. It was an unforgettable experience, and I'm happy to have had the opportunity to do it and share even just a small portion of that with you here on WIBC. But now, after we've lightened the mood, it's time to bring things down again. We're back to talking about Iran. Conspiracy Carl is on the way, and he's going to give us his opinion on who is pulling the strings of U.S. foreign policy, and it's maybe not the direction that you think he's going to go. So stay tuned for that. Carl's Conspiracy Corner is coming up next.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They could take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Spring is fast approaching and a great time for a new Lincoln at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. 0% financing is back. That's right, 0% for 48 months on new Corsair, Nautilus, and Aviator. Plus 0% for 36 months on new Navigator. With these rates, it's absolutely the best time to buy. Be sure to check them all out at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Our family serving yours since 1972.
0% APR for 48 months on 2026 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, and Aviator. 0% APR for 36 months on 2025 Lincoln Navigator. Subject to credit approval. Offers end 3/31/26. See dealer for complete offer details.
Fox News, I'm Roger. Starting the U.S. striking Karg Island in the Persian Gulf, a pass-through point for more than 90% of Iran's oil, and the White House is happy.
President posted, U.S. Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Karg Island.
Fox's Steve Harrigan, the U.S. attacked Karg Island after Iran started blocking Western oil shipments to the Strait of Hormuz. We're learning that 2 weeks before Thursday's attack on a Michigan synagogue, they had gotten warnings of new dangers for Jewish houses of worship.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard said he texted with the head of security at the temple with some information and ideas about how to further protect the place of worship.
Fox's Deborah Valentine reporting, America is listening to Fox News.
If you
owe back taxes? Listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You love spring and Indy, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The moon belongs to everyone. The best things in life are free.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
They gleam there for you and me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, and I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. The podcasts are uploaded to WIBC.com and SaturdayNightOnTheCircle.fireside.fm, and we're streaming live on the YouTube machine 7 to 9 every Saturday night, so hop in the chat and join the fun. The war with Iran enters its third week after the initial strike began 14 days ago, with President Trump already declaring victory and giving some flashbacks to George Bush's infamous mission accomplished blunder. The question remains how much longer U.S. military forces will continue to be engaged in the conflict. Many former MAGA adherents have also begun to question the motives for this action, as gas prices have skyrocketed with seemingly little benefit to Americans, as the term temporary pain for long-term gain has become the new 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Who really pulls the strings of U.S. foreign policy goals in the Middle East? One man stays ever vigilant to the threat of globalist infiltrators. Here to share his views on the war with Iran is the always lovable producer Carl, who joins us for another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner.
You're listening to Carl's Conspiracy Corner. The truth is out there.
Have you ever seen a commie drink a glass of water?
Well, yeah, I can't say I have.
The views expressed by Conspiracy Carl are those of Carl and Carl alone. They are not the views of his station or its distributors. I mean, obviously.
Deep beneath the streets of Indianapolis, in an undisclosed broadcasting bunker, we're once again joined by producer Carl, sharing his insights on the war with Iran. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, considering what's going on in the world. In our last interview that we did, we talked about, gee, it'd be nice if Donald Trump was just as hawkish about domestic policy as he is with foreign policy. Yes. He'll go to war and potentially risk the entire world in an apocalyptic calamity. But if he gets any sort of grief regarding rounding up illegal aliens, he pulls out.
I will say that this doesn't seem very America first. And now he's actually telling the Republicans to lay off of mass deportations because these are people who work in our farms, people who work in our hotels, people who provide valuable labor to his Republican industrialist buddies. So what happened to the America First policy? What happened to the president of no wars? And now he's traipsing around the Middle East. I'm a little bit bothered by this, producer Carl?
It turns out that Donald Trump wants to be liked.
Yes, yes. Who would have thought from somebody who spent a lot of time running a reality TV show for Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. The thing that has bothered me regarding this topic, considering how many hours to the chagrin of my wife, how many hours of conspiracy podcasts I listen to, the thing that has me a little concerned is how everybody seems to be on let's blame Israel, let's blame the Jews. Because what is curious about the whole thing, it's not that even that far off distant history where Israel really tried hard to make a peace with the Palestinians and have a two-state solution. But at the end of the day, Arafat and the PLO rejected it because Arafat said, well, we need to have the right of return, which means all of the Arabs that somehow could say, hey, we were here before 48, could return to Israel, essentially eliminating Israel. So this is something that Israel could never go with.
Well,
so
these aren't the Palestinians, producer Carl. These are the Iranians. And surely you can also distinguish between criticizing the diplomatic and foreign policy interests of the nation state of Israel from being critical of the ethnic people of the Jews or the religious organization of the Jews. These are separate and distinct entities.
Sure, but here's the deal. So what the people in the alternative right, we can also call them the woke right, is that they fail to mention that Israel is constantly getting attacked by its neighbors. And Iran, being a far-off neighbor, is still one of the neighbors that have proxy militaries all around them that have been lobbing missiles at them since the beginning of the modern state of Israel. So the woke right, if you listen to their podcast...
Nobody's saying that Israel doesn't have the right to defend themselves. I think what they're objecting to is potentially roping the United States into defending their interests for them. Absolutely, they're entitled to the right to fire back at people who are assaulting them.
I completely understand that, but what concerns me is that the members of the woke right, who I listen to a lot, they seem to forget all of this. They present Israel and the Jews as basically the bullies of the Middle East who are genociding their neighbors, and it's just not a fair assessment of what has been going on in that region of the world since the beginning of time. Now, I know we have limited time and we cannot have peace in the Middle East in a 8 to 10 minute discussion. But what I wanted to say is that the members of the deep state and members of the military industrial complex know that these members on the right, the Alex Joneses, the Candace Owens, the Tucker Carlsons out there, they know that they have a lot of influence, and I think that they're actually there creating divide among people in the right to weaken them. And I do believe that that's what's going on right here. And I think that the weak link is not necessarily that Israel is running the show, is that you have the president who wants to be the guy that solved the Iranian issue. He wants to be 47 who solved 47 years of Iranian mullahs in Iran.
After more than 30 years of conflict dating back into the 1990s with the conflicts in the Middle East, I think one thing we should have learned by now is it's like playing whack-a-mole with these guys. You knock one down and another one pops right back up to take their place. One thing I do think you can't discount in this conflict is that Israel is definitely not pressuring the United States to do anything that the military-industrial complex hasn't had its sights set on for years at this point. There are a lining of interests here.
Sure, and that's why I'd like you to play some audio for us.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
So that's over 25 years ago.
Yeah,
that's General Wesley Clark talking about. Yeah, well, the audio tape that you heard is 2007, but he was talking about meeting with other generals right after 9/11. That all of a sudden we were going to take out Saddam in Iraq, and basically my argument is that these plans of taking over the Middle East have been in the works for many decades, and they found the right president who would do it, because Donald Trump wants to be the guy. He wants to be the guy to solve the Iranian problems. He wants to be the guy to solve the Cuba problems. Back in 2020, he wanted to be the guy to stop the next Spanish flu. He's like, well, I'm not going to allow, millions of people dying on my watch, so I'm going to shut the entire country down. If you had a Democrat as president doing these things, the right definitely would have said, hell no. But with Donald Trump, you have many in the right saying, okay, we'll do it.
Well, I think that's an excellent example, because prior to the election in 2016, even Hillary Clinton was posturing that if she were elected the president of the United States, she would attack Iran. She would bomb Iran. So it seems like these neocons may change face, they may change form, but they share the same interests no matter what party they belong to. And absolutely, had Hillary Clinton been elected, had Hillary Clinton followed through with her campaign promise to bomb Iran, I think you would have the conservatives objecting to more senseless, needless wars in the Middle East and wasting lives of American service members.
Yeah, I mean, definitely people on Fox News would be very suspicious. If you watch Fox News now, they're not suspicious at all. They just talk about all the successes that we're having. So I do believe that the bottom line is, Israel is not running the United States. Israel is a client state of the United States. And the United States military-industrial complex wants us to be involved there. It's good for business, not only for the military war business, but also for business if we have basically all of the countries aligned with us.
It's also very good for the oil business right now. The average price in Indiana has shot up by more than 40 cents to about $3.50 a gallon.
Well, that's because of the gas tax.
Well, yeah, you got the gas tax, but let's not forget that the crude price of oil was, I think, around $60 a barrel. It's now almost $100 a barrel, and I'm getting flashbacks to the war in Iran the war in Iraq all over again. When I got my license back in, 2008, when I was 16, gas was almost $4 a gallon, and it looks like we're heading that direction again.
Well, what we learned, I'm assuming that you learned the same thing in school, Ethan. We were told that World War II solved the Depression. So wars are good for the economy.
It seems that history is not a flat line so much as it is a circle, and it will repeat itself, especially if we don't learn.
Well, hopefully we'll get out of it alive.
Thanks for another edition of Conspiracy Corner, Carl.
Thank you so much, Ethan. Have a wonderful weekend.
Stay tuned to 93 at WIBC. This is Saturday Night on the Circle.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Donate today at fightingblindness.org.
A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
We had downsized. In that downsizing, my husband lost his man cave.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like your neighbor Deb.
My husband and I were at the home show and saw all these vendors with garage floor coatings. The one that stayed with us was Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is 4 times stronger than epoxy.
I'm the only one home, and so it's nice when well-dressed, clean-cut, respectful crew show up. That's what Galaxy sent.
Commercial or residential, Galaxy transforms pools, patios, garage floors, and driveways in as little as 1 day, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
Warranties are real important for us, and to know that should there be an issue, Galaxy was standing behind it. That's pretty much what tipped us over to go with Galaxy.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on Facebook.
We are so proud to open our garage store.
We're out of this world.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here. While Indiana basketball teams are making it drain on the court, Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is making it drain in your home. For just $49, Hope will snake your main line and do a free camera inspection. Now that sounds like a no-drainer. Now is the time to get your main lines checked before spring has sprung and it's too late. Call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today, and let's make it drain. Give them a call at 641-HOPE.
I work here.
I work here.
I work here. I work here.
I work here.
I work here.
We all work here at Radio 1 Indianapolis, one of the most diverse media groups in the world. We bring very different backgrounds and ideas together to create the best information and entertainment around. And right now, we're looking for someone to join the family. We have a sales assistant position available. If you've got great organizational skills and an interest in media and entertainment, we want to talk to you. Apply now at radio1.com/careers. Bilingual preferred. Radio 1 is an equal opportunity employer. Got friends or family who are hearing impaired? We've got you covered. Watch our shows aired live with closed captioning provided by Relay Indiana, making every moment accessible for all. Go to youtube.com/@WIBC to watch live and don't miss a moment.
It's only a paper moon.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, and I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, coasting things to a close this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the program so far, as much as I've enjoyed spending it with you. Coming up on Tuesday, we have, of course, St. Patrick's Day, and I feel like this upcoming St. Patrick's Day will be slightly less eventful than the St. Patrick's Day we had last year, spending it in protest at the State House, advocating for the passage of SB1 with he who shall not be named, the former mid-morning host here at WIBC. Man, sometimes life can come at you really fast. A lot has changed in the intervening passage of time, many disappointments, but one thing that I find never disappoints me is spending time with the crew of the First Day Show with Terry Stacy, Kylan Talley, and Denny Smith for another edition of Antique Show and Tell, this time in preparation for St. Patrick's Day, Irish Antiques. Sit back and enjoy.
Ethan Hatcher stops by and sees us from time to time here at WIBC's First Day Show with something that I like to call the First Day Show and Tell. And Ethan has brought to us something magical.
Yes, last week Kylan was asking me if I had any Irish-themed antiques in preparation for St. Patrick's Day, yes. And I would much rather focus on St. Patrick's Day than this stupid daylight saving time when we lose an hour of sleep every 6 months or so. Hate it.
It's not good for you.
No, absolutely not. But St. Patrick's Day, green beer, green everything, green rivers, that's much more fun. Leprechauns, Irish shamrocks, it's good stuff.
So you've got several items.
Yes, these are all Irish themed. I'll give you one, Terry. I'll give Denny one over here, and then I'll have one that I can show the camera.
Okay.
And these are all Irish antiques. These are made of Irish bog oak. And bog oak are oak, yew, or other trees that have spent hundreds, if not thousands of years in the mire of the bogs covered in peat. And it actually, instead of rotting the wood, makes it much more dense, much more strong, and dyes it a dark black color, which is cool. Wow. And because it is so dense and so strong, it can also hold a high polish. And Irish bog oak jewelry really took off in the 19th century. It was extremely popular from about 1850 to 1890 or so. There are lots of Irish motifs, shamrocks, castles. They made this for the tourist industry.
The intricate work that is done in this, I'm holding the one which is three mating deer.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
I've never seen anything like that before.
And the horns.
It's tiny.
Teeny
it's
tiny.
so tiny. And again, where did you get these?
I got those in Pennsylvania at the Lemoyne Antique Shop or Antique Mall.
I'm going to go show the camera. To describe it at home, they're probably the size of a challenge coin, oval, black in color.
That's pretty good.
And the art that is involved, the detail from an artist is incredible.
Mine looks like it's a gear out of a clock. But
does it?
You got deer, I got a building. And
yours is a castle.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got a castle.
Yeah.
Well,
there were, like I said, Irish motifs, decor. There were religious motifs. This was popularly used as mourning jewelry because of its dark black color. Yeah, so they made bracelets out of it, necklaces out of it. They also made furniture out of it and homes out of it, and that was partially driven because of the vast deforestation of old-growth Irish forests that happened.
This looks like it has a pin on it, Ethan, and so you can actually...
Yeah, it's a brooch.
It's three mating deer.
They're not doing mating. This isn't a nookie brooch. This is...
Wow.
They could also be galloping through the forest. They can be doing, whatever you imagine.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but
just beautiful.
Terry, how did you get mating deer out of this?
There are three deer that are all back to back.
Okay. Have you seen the elephants in the circus? They're nose to tail.
I don't know that we need to go into it any further. That's what my perception is. Art is in the eye of the beholder.
I think you got a dirty mind.
Not at all. And so you do have something else. What is that?
That is a trinket box. Kylan, you want to take the top off that to show the camera so that way they can see? It just pops right off. Just pop it.
Oh, you're going to break it, and it's going to be, you're breaking an antique.
Here, hand it to me. I'll take it off.
He'll take it.
There we go.
This would be...
See, it just pops right off.
Just like almost like...
it's smooth. It doesn't screw in or anything.
For those of you listening, it's all black in color. It's probably the size of a foundation, makeup foundation container, or, yes, you said, a small jewelry box.
Trinket box. You can put your rings in there. And then the Irish would also build their houses out of it, like I was telling Denny, because of the vast deforestation of old-growth Irish forests that took place during the British Industrial Revolution. They had to dig their timber out of the peat bogs. And it's also, like I said, the peat doesn't rot the wood. It enhances the wood. It makes it much more dense, much more durable, and they could build their homes out of it.
That's pretty cool.
For other furniture, chairs,
so this is
sofas, lounges.
Ethan, is this one of the steps towards petrification?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, these are really cool, man.
Yeah. They were also prized because they could be polished.
So since we're holding these up, and again, these are ancient tokens from Ireland.
I wouldn't say ancient. They're 19th century.
Okay,
so,
19th century.
A couple centuries old.
What's it worth?
A couple $100 per piece.
Per piece.
Yeah.
Even the little jewelry box.
Yeah, I'd say about $175 or so. I think I paid maybe $125 for it.
Why did you want them?
Because they're cool. They just called to me. Yeah, no, I mean,
I
always, whenever I enter an antique store, I always keep an open mind, and I never know what's going to find me or what's going to call to me, but I saw a marvelous selection of Irish bog oak jewelry. I did a little research on it. I thought they were cool pieces. And
Wait a minute. You walk into a store and you're waiting for somebody to say, Ethan, I'm over here.
Yes, yeah.
Really?
Well, that's how I found some of my coolest stuff.
Wow.
The antiques, they speak to me, Denny. They speak to me.
Ethan.
What would you think about an antique shillelagh? Would you like to have an antique shillelagh?
Now, is the shillelagh the cane, the little cane? Is that what that's called?
That's right.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of them that are up for sale right now. Authentic blackthorn knob sticks is sometimes what they're called, for $144.99. Not bad if you'd like to have an Irish shillelagh, a vintage antique shillelagh. This one is an antique blackhorn shillelagh fighting knob face walking stick.
That's a mouthful. Now, Ethan, would that have come from the same wood stock deep in the bogs? The
they can. I'm not sure that the shillelagh that Terry is describing was made out of bog oak. I do have some Irish briarwood pipes. Those are modern, though.
Those are modern. Denny's coming behind me to look at the authentic shillelaghs that are for sale. Here's the one that's expensive, very expensive, $1,320.
Oh, wow.
Just beautiful pieces. Again, I loved hand-carved wood of any sort.
One of those said it was from an antler. I think that's interesting.
Oh.
It was carved from an antler, which would really be interesting wood. That's bone.
Yeah, it would be.
These are neat show and tell items. Now, did you put them in the cases, or were they already in cases?
I put them in the cases, so that way they would protect them, especially like the deer with all these fine little intricate carvings. And you can tell, like part of them, I think one of the legs has snapped off just because they're so tiny. So to prevent.
Is that the one where Terry said that's the nookie deer? The deer getting nookie.
The very same.
I love it. Ethan, thank you. You bring us these really cool items for our show and tell. Ladies and gentlemen, we always love seeing your show and tell. If you'd like to send that to us, we enjoy looking at antiques and cool stuff. And I know a lot of you have cool stuff because we've got cool places to buy cool things like this.
And we've got really cool listeners. Not only do we have really cool listeners, I think we have the best listeners in all of Indianapolis. Nope, scratch that. The best listeners in all of the state of Indiana. Nope, scratch that. The best listeners this side of the Mississippi. No, that's still not good enough. I'll just go ahead and say it. We have the best listeners in the entire United States. You make everything we do here at WIBC possible, and I'm happy to be a part of that with you. Thanks for listening to another edition of Saturday Night on the Circle. This is Ethan Hatcher signing off, leaving you with my parting words of wisdom. As always, wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing, remember that life is a state of mind. See you next week.
Using the three-step system from the Good Feet store, and it has been incredible. The Good Feet store. You've heard me talk about it. You've driven by it many times, and you're like, what is that place? That's the place to go to get rid of pain, because the pain is emanating from your foot. The issues with your knees, your hips, your lower back, that's because your foot doesn't have the proper support. The arches aren't they're not being taken care of. And with the Good Feet store and their free, no-obligation personalized fitting, you get started on your path to feeling better all the way up and down your body. And now when I wear my Good Feet arch supports made in the USA, 100% US origin materials with a lifetime warranty, it's massaging. It's amazing. It's a three-step system, and you got to commit yourself to the system. But the result, it's fantastic. Talk to the Good Feet store about that plantar fasciitis, about that knee or hip pain. Talk to one of their arch support specialists today. The Good Feet store has 2 Indy area locations, at Clearwater at the Crossing and in Greenwood just off 65. Online at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com.
March is an exciting time of the year, and we want you to go all the way. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. During tax time, bring in your refund. We'll double it towards your down payment, up to $2,000. Shop any of Hubler's 13 locations or online at drivehubler.com. Choose from over 2,000 vehicles, all makes and models. Plus, get even more for your trade. Bring Hubler your old car for an immediate appraisal on the spot. And up to $2,000 more for your trade. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and a free Carfax history report. Tax time at Hubler means you get more for your refund. Up to $2,000 more at any of our 13 convenient locations or visit drivehubler.com. Cover me! Warranty on select models less than 9 years old. Deductions for high mileage maintenance reconditioning. See dealer for details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
From the Duke & Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, this is 93 WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
Open the strait or else. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. That's the warning from President Trump.
President Trump says the U.S. will wipe out Iran's oil infrastructure on Karg Island if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump is now requesting U.S. allies to send warships to the Middle East to help ensure safe passage through the strait.
Fox's Nate Foy in Tel Aviv. The warning comes after the U.S. bombed Iran's Karg Island on Friday.